Hey guys, Introspection here, and I'm back again with another video. So as you can see here, we're going to do another one of these kind of sort of, but not really reaction videos where I've already seen the video, but I still think it's going to be a lot of fun to go through with you guys and give you my thoughts on it. Now, one thing I should probably say before I say anything else. As you can see here, the main premise of this video, amongst other things, is that this person can telepathically speak to aliens. Now, do I personally believe that this person can telepathically speak to aliens? No, I honestly don't think she can. Now, do I believe that it's possible for aliens to exist? Yeah, I think it's very possible. In fact, for those of you who are really into astronomy, or just math in general, you may know this thing called the Drake equation. If you don't, what it is, and I'll leave the math out of it for now because it is a lot, and my head's probably going to start spinning if I try to explain it. But what it is the equation that essentially takes into account all of the things that are theoretically required for life to exist on a planet. And then it takes into account theoretically how many planets there are within the galaxy that could potentially hold those circumstances. And I forget what the number is, but apparently there's like a lot within our galaxy alone. And then you consider the fact that there's an infinite amount of galaxies, most of which we've never seen before. Yeah, I think it's very possible that aliens could exist. Now, again, that this person can speak to them, no, I honestly don't think that that's the case. So, if that's what I think of this video, why am I spending the time to go through it and react to it? And no, it's not because I think, or I want to spend the entire video calling this person a nut job. That's not my intention at all. But what I have noticed, or what I noticed the first time I was watching it, is that there is a decent amount of actual 100% scientific information. But it's so elegantly woven in, honestly to an impressive point, in my opinion, that you don't even notice it. And on top of that, they use scientific words that sound a lot like other not scientific words. So unless you're really keeping your eye out for it, there's a good chance that all the science in this video totally gonna blow past you. And it's understandable, especially when you start watching the video, odds are you're already going to accept the premises, you're not gonna believe it. So with that in mind, there's a good chance that whatever science is in this video, totally gonna blow past you. Now, do I believe that any of the science in this video backs up her idea that she can speak to aliens? Again, no. But I thought it'd be a lot of fun to go through this video and talk to you guys about all of these little scientific things I think most people would have probably missed. And of course, if there's anything I missed, please leave it in the comment section down below because I'd be really interested in hearing it. One more thing. This is probably going to be a long video, so maybe pause, go, please come back. I'm begging you, I'm very desperate. But go, get a drink, get a snack, sit down, and enjoy.
If I weren't experiencing this reality, it would seem insane to me.
You believe you're an alien?
Definitely. I can open up a portal, speak your own version of light language as well.
I need to keep my hands on the wheel. I've been wanting to meet Heather Activation Vibration for 3 years, I think. I've been listening to Heather's affirmations every morning for a year. Heather travels all over the world. She has a place here in California. She claims to speak alien language. People call it light codes or light language. In the spiritual world, there are people who claim that they can connect with different extraterrestrial beings, speak light language. They actually feel that they've come to Earth from another part of the galaxy. I 100% believe in aliens at this point. I've made a couple videos about it, and one was a documentary with Yes Theory where we actually spent time with people who had abduction stories. I'm hoping that after spending the day with her, I'll have a better idea if maybe there is something to this alien language she's speaking, or maybe my meters will detect if it's completely a scam. But if anyone would be able to do this, it would be her. Let's get out. She's coming. Can I tell you something?
Okay, so totally not related to what I thought, or totally not related to what I originally told you this video was going to be about, but I would be ecstatic if a fan even just recognized me in public. If they reacted like that, in all honesty, there's a good chance I'd break down in tears of joy. Which, now that I think about it, wouldn't be great, because then I'd look weird, and I never carry tissues on me, so then I'd be a total mess, and I'm getting off track. Let's continue, sorry.
I've been wanting to meet you for like 2 years.
I've been feeling you like you've been coming through the realms recently.
What does that mean, coming through the realms?
Like you've been appearing in different realities, your name. This, that, ideas, yes, okay. Yeah, I feel her.
What are we doing?
We're just gonna allow for whatever is to flow through.
Do you use the pool here?
I do. I love it. It's actually salt water. So, welcome to the portal.
Where I live, we call
Yes.
it the portal.
Really? There's a resonant vibe.
There's lots of synchronicities happening already.
So we have Sekhmet over here.
What's his name?
Sekhmet.
Okay, remember the first time I heard that name, I wanted to look it up because she kind of just explains it afterwards, but it didn't sound quite right to me, so let's look it up now because I forgot the first time I watched the video. Okay. Sekhmet, or also spelled Sekhmet, in Egyptian religion, a goddess of war and the destroyer of the enemies of the sun god Ra. I will not be messing with this cat.
What does that mean?
It's actually the lion goddess from Egypt. He's a guy, but genders are not,
So
like,
it's
relevant.
non-binary
Yes.
cat.
He is. He honestly is. He likes to climb things and he likes to do really interesting tricks. He may like jump on it just to like...
Oh my god, all the expensive equipment. Do you want to give us a little tour?
Sure, yeah. There's different crystals actually aligned throughout the place, all set with intention to like hold a specific frequency so that you...
Okay, so believe it or not, this is the first piece of science information that is pretty much 100% accurate. Now, everything to ever hold matter and a lot of things that don't seem to hold matter has been known to vibrate at a certain frequency. Even solids, even people, everything vibrates at a certain frequency. Of course, none of us realize this most of the time because most frequencies are the most vibrations are so minuscule, nobody notices. Even stuff, again, that seems solid, if you theoretically could shrink down to the size of an atom, it'd be shaking around like crazy. So that gives everything in the physical realm that we know of a frequency, to include, of course, crystals. Now, are any of these frequencies known to affect people, whether it be physically or psychologically? I have yet to see any resources saying so. I have yet to see any scientific studies proving that these stones can do these things. But with that said, if they make you feel better, I would still encourage you to hold them, because as far as I know, they're also not harmful to any individual, and the placebo effect is a thing, and it can help you quite a bit. If you feel, even if you know that consciously that the crystals won't physically do anything to you, if you feel like the crystals can help you, there's a good chance it will, because, you know, if it's in your mind and you physically believe the crystal will help you, keeping it around can't hurt. The only thing is that you not substitute it for actual medicine.
You feel good so that you feel nourished, so that you feel loved. Welcome.
Can we talk about this beautiful altar over here?
We have a bunch of different things that are energetically representative and like symbolic of certain frequencies to invoke certain energies.
So you have
it's like
a
support.
broom.
Yes. She actually just came to me. It was a gift.
It's like Harry Potter. When he gets the broom in the mail.
It wasn't exactly like that, but like it was like that.
Now I just want to see the process of her acquiring this broom. I know it's probably something ridiculously normal, like she bought it or it was gifted to her, but it has me a little intrigued. Just the fact that it's like, it's not like that, but it was exactly like Harry Potter.
Do you want to see her? Yes.
Can I touch it?
Yes.
Whoa. This is cool.
This is a vibe for you. Oh, you look incredible.
The purple vibes. The banana socks.
You chose your socks to match.
Segment, do you like it? Segment is a little tearing up the sacred broom, Segment.
It's not like I ride this broom at night and it comes alive and this is what I... No, it's more just like... An energetic representation of magic.
So I've been listening to your music every morning for about a year.
That is incredible.
I just can't thank you enough because it really makes a difference in my day. There's definitely a time in my life where I struggled a lot with wanting to get out of bed and felt a lot of depression and anxiety and like would just wake up anxious. Listening to those, it's been actually like a pillar of my morning routine.
I love that so much. That's so epic.
Let's see the rest of the beautiful portal.
So welcome to the garden. These are oranges.
So good. What do you eat?
Only breath and magic.
I mean, you're not actually breathing.
No, I'm not actually. I know that's a real thing though. I haven't eaten meat in 11 years, actually, until I just did ayahuasca 2 weeks ago. And I had this whole thing come through where it was like, I partly identify with the fact that I've been vegan, that I haven't eaten meat for over 11 years, and I'm like, I need to dissolve that ego.
I want to sit down and really
Yes.
dive into all of this.
Let's do it.
So let's go back to the altar and
Let's
like
do it.
sit. What's it called? A hand drum?
A handpan, but it's a space drum. It
It's
is.
a UFO
It's actually a spaceship.
in your lap.
that plays sound frequencies that are like cosmic binaural beat sound frequencies that register to certain parts of your brain and activate certain awarenesses and consciousnesses and abilities to feel. Same thing as light language.
I don't understand.
Okay, yeah, I don't know about the light language part, but everything else that she said, completely accurate. So it has been scientifically shown that music has a huge impact on our psychological state. And think about it. Say you go to work out. Everybody has, their own kind of music that they enjoy working out to. But odds are that whatever kind of music you're working out with, it probably has a BPM, which is beats per minute, in the higher range, right? It's probably going faster than other music, and it probably has, for lack of a better word, a more energetic rhythm than other music, because that kind of music, whatever kind it may be, energizes you for you to get through the workout. Also true is when you take slow music or music with a low BPM and less energetic music, odds are a lot of people will listen to it to try to calm down or relax whenever they want to. So yeah, it's entirely true that music has a huge effect on our psychological state, to include that of the space drum.
And
It's okay, you don't have to. Your soul gets it.
how do I do it?
It's kind of like you're pulling the sound out.
My little necklace is getting in the
Which,
way.
by the way, I love this. I've seen them before.
It's called The Shift, and it's made by Camuso, and basically helps you breathe slower. And it activates the vagus nerve, which we know helps you go into the parasympathetic nervous system and get out of the crazy fight or flight anxiety that we're often in. So basically what you do is you take a deep breath in and you breathe out, you exhale through it to slow your breath down. So I'll show you. It helps.
Okay, so yeah, that is also all, as far as I can tell, pretty much 100% true. But she kind of like super rushed through it and used a lot of complicated words, so I'm going to go into a little bit more detail about it, explaining exactly what she was talking about. I'll start by explaining how your nervous system works. So, your basic nervous system is divided primarily into two regions. There is the somatic nervous system, and then there is the autonomic nervous system. So, the somatic nervous system is the part of your nervous system that controls your conscious movements, whether it's raising your hand to ask a question, or writing something down, or getting on the dance floor to break a move to impress the pretty girl, which I can tell you does not work. Please don't ask me how I know that. But that's all the somatic nervous system, right? The autonomic nervous system is the part that controls everything that you don't really think about. Things like your digestion, your stomach, your heart, and all those things that happen automatically, that's the autonomic nervous system. Now, the autonomic nervous system itself is also divided into two parts. There's the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. And basically what these are, they're essentially, think of it as like two entities trying to pull to keep you in balance. So the sympathetic part is the part that activates when you need more energy or you need to react to something. So, if a lion was attacking you, or you were jumping off of a building, or whatever the case may be. That's your sympathetic nervous system, where your heart rate kicks up, your muscles start to become quicker, and your digestive system doesn't digest as fast because blood is being routed away from your digestive system into the rest of your muscles, because that's where you really need it. That's your sympathetic nervous system. Your parasympathetic nervous system pulls your body the other way. So, when you're relaxing, watching a movie, playing a very calm game, stuff like that, that is when your parasympathetic nervous system kicks in. Now, this is a great system because it's kept us alive for, a lot of time. But the problem comes in where, because we recognize certain things as stressful, even if they're not immediate physical threats to us, our sympathetic nervous system still kicks in. So, for instance, if your boss tells you you're not doing a great job, or you're stressed about getting a good grade, or you're worried that your boyfriend or girlfriend's going to leave you, all those things, even though they're not things that you need your physical body to react to in the same way that you would react if a lion was chasing you, your body's still going to react as if your lion was chasing you, because even though these things aren't physical threats to you, your brain can't distinguish it, or at least the part of your brain that just kicks in to react to stuff. So even when it's stuff like that, your body still reacts like if you were being attacked like a lion. And that's bad, because we really only should be using our sympathetic nervous system when we're in serious danger, or we really need to kick up our physical capabilities. Otherwise, we end up putting a lot of stress on our body that's not really designed to take. So being able to breathe in a slow manner kicks in the parasympathetic nervous system and allows us to kind of come back to before we activated that fight or flight response. Now, to be clear, what she has around her neck, as far as I can tell, is nothing more than a fancy tube. You can do it with just a straw, because all this is doing is creating a smaller point for you to breathe in and out, forcing you to take slower and deeper breaths. So if you want to just use a tube or a straw or whatever, it'll pretty much have the same effect. Okay, a straw is probably a little too small for you to get an adequate amount of air, but any tube about that size will work for you. But, this is one of those things where it's more like you need something to physically remind you to do stuff, as opposed to you needing it to physically do stuff. Like, for instance, if you go to a meeting, you really don't need to write it down if you can just remember it. But if you're going to forget it, you need a planner. Or if you're trying to kick a habit, for instance, you're trying to drink less. They have these fancy little locking mechanisms where you can put an alcoholic drink in it and then lock it for whatever time period you want to lock it for. You really don't need it. You can just not drink. But if having that little physical reminder to you to not drink, or having some sort of deterrent for you to not drink, helps you not drink, then by all means it's fine. And if you want to have a necklace that at least is aesthetically pleasing, because you don't want to be carrying a random small PC pipe around your neck, that's also fine. So by no means do I think this is a scam. But that being said, it's definitely not necessary. You don't even need a pipe. You can just take deep breaths in, or if you want to do this little restricted breathing thing, you could just kind of make a circle with your lips and breathe through that tiny little circle.
Helps me so much, especially when I'm working, because it's a physical reminder to breathe. So this is The Shift by Camuso Design, and also want to thank them for sponsoring this video. Thank you for bringing it up. And so you can use my code SKYLIFE for a 15% off discount, and the links in the video description. When you channel light language, you do specific breathing to get into it?
Yes, usually different every time, but it does require centering my energy so that I can open up and channel.
Are you going to be able to show us?
Yes, absolutely. I would love to co-create a space, a container to where you feel comfortable, and if you feel called, to allow your soul to speak your own version of light language as well.
I don't know if I'll be able to do it, but I'm so open.
The human doesn't need to know, the soul will get it.
People who are speaking light language, they could just completely be making this up.
Totally. It could be totally fake to some people, but I can't deny it. I need to have multiple proven facts, experiences in order to claim something as tangible or real. There have been so many forms of confirmation for me connecting with ETs. I don't deny this. It would be inauthentic for me to deny it. I would literally be holding the biggest part of my experience back and suppressing that.
Talk me through your experience
Yes.
of connecting with extraterrestrials.
I'd say over the past 8 years, really, I've been connecting with cosmic beings, ETs specifically. A few years ago, I was completely sober, laying in my bed, and I felt called to meditate. And as I was meditating,
Alright, so quick thing I want to say about meditation. I kind of get upset with the fact that people associate it a lot with this thing that only people who want to be able to astral project themselves do, which is entirely not the case. There have been study upon study upon study upon study that a lot of forms of meditation work a lot to be able to calm your mind, allow you to think more clearly, allow you to just be happier overall. It increases physical health because you're a lot less stressed, going back to that whole sympathetic versus parasympathetic thing I was talking about earlier, being able to calm more when you actually need to be calm. Stuff like that. It's been proven again and again and again that a lot of forms of meditation are very, very, very helpful for you physically and emotionally and by extension mentally. Now, again, will it allow you to speak to aliens or do anything else of that matter? No, I'm not saying that at all. But I highly encourage you, especially if you're frequently stressed out or have some anxiety problems, whatever the case may be, to at least give meditation a shot. Because for a lot of people, it really works out quite well.
these 3 light beings appeared on each side of my bed, kind of what you would think an alien would look like, where they were really tall, their heads were different shapes, and their arms and their legs were more lengthy, and they had maybe about 3 or 4 fingers I couldn't fully see, but they weren't physical form, they were emanations.
Okay, so I know this is the part that I said I wasn't going to get into, but the reason that this is called into question for me is that it's so similar to our most popular depiction of aliens. Now, I said that I think it's very possible that aliens can exist. But if they were to exist, I think one of 2 things are going to happen. Either A, they're going to look like something we could have never comprehended before, or we never thought an alien would look like, because it never developed on this planet, it developed entirely separately. Or B, because our form of life is the most successful form of life that can exist, then the life on that planet will look somewhat similar to the life on our planet. I think one of those 2 things is going to happen. But for us to coincidentally make the most popular depiction of an alien be what actual aliens look like, I think is highly, 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 highly unlikely.
Of light. I woke up
You
the
were
next-
awake.
I was awake. I was not sleeping. I wasn't in a dream. And they lifted out my light body so I could see it, almost to show my human. This spiritual body of mine, this aura, this energy that we all talk about, it's real. The next morning, I started thinking about Arcturians. Arcturians, what are Arcturians?
So the name Arcturians just came
Came
to
through, fully came through. I had not heard of them before. And they are the energetic consciousness that I connect to and channel and communicate most to.
you? What other experiences have you had actually
In
seeing?
physical form. So multiple times I've taken friends to Joshua Tree. Joshua Tree is like a huge portal. It's happened 3 different times. We've seen full-on ships. There was a portal in the middle of the sky, and all of these ships kept going from all over the sky to this portal and disappearing.
I actually made a documentary about people who had abduction stories. So I'm at the point where I definitely believe in extraterrestrials,
Yes.
but I'm still sort of integrating into the information. For some people watching this, they may be like, what, these girls
Right.
are bat
Yeah.
crazy.
full on. That happens all the time. And it's totally fine. Like, I totally get it. Because if I weren't experiencing this reality, it would seem insane to me. It's so real and so undeniable for me that I don't really mind what other people think or what they feel.
I want to talk about the talking to aliens thing.
Yes. There's a specific energy and essence, a transmission that's coming through the light language, but it's not specific words. You wouldn't be able to translate this word means this word means this word. It transcends beyond the ego's need to imprint and identify certain meanings with specific words.
So what you're saying is the alien language transcends human language.
Yeah. It transcends like the human realm entirely. It's like a cosmic stream of energy that is channeled through audible frequencies.
When you're speaking this language, do you know what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so I understand that this is foolish for me to say if the premise is that another language exists beyond my own comprehension, therefore it's foolish for me to compare a current language to it. But my understanding of a language is that it is a series of sounds, and specific series of sounds are correlated to definitions via the energy created to make the sounds or the words on page. So for it to be classified as a language, I think by definition sounds need to have a definition to them for it to have any meaning. But again, under the premise that there exists another language that transcends it, I suppose it's not really fair for me to make that comparison.
Yes. It's happened multiple times actually where I've used light language in challenging situations or times where I need to activate my power. External reality shifts instantly. I am not even kidding. I'm talking about miracles happening instantly, things changing.
What has happened?
I was in India and in a taxi on my way to a retreat, and I had multiple hours to go, and the man let me know that he was instead taking me to his house with other men and was going to do things to me. And I had no service on my phone. I was in a country that I didn't know, and I sat there in meditation for a few seconds. A wave of energy came over me, and I actually became extremely calm. And I looked at him. I was sitting in the back, and he kept looking at me, smiling, laughing, thinking it was hilarious. You think you're a smart woman. He would say these weird things as I'm just sitting there meditating, like getting ready. He was like, but you got in the car with me, saying all these creepy things, trying to further activate my fear and make me feel less empowered. And I stared at him in the rear view mirror, and I just started channeling light language. It was a strong and powerful, fully activated portal of energy. It just fully came through. I was staring at him in the eyes, didn't flinch, and it was like, Disiasha fompoko hasakiatuash, derakala hasatikiampesh dos kwe ashikiampua dondo kusepalash dire shikiapuafa indash. And within that second, he completely flinched, shifted, and turned the wheel so hard, literally almost like ripped us off the road, and was like, fine, have it your way. That's all he said, fine, have it your way.
Okay, so two things. First, always be careful, especially when you're going to a place you're not familiar with. Always make sure people know where you're going to be at all times. Make sure to have some sort of update system so that if you don't update, they know that to be concerned about you. If you can, make sure you bring somebody with you because there's strength in numbers. Please, please, please make sure you're very safe whenever you're doing this kind of stuff, because bad stuff has happened clearly, and I hate it when stuff like that happens. So please be extra careful out there. Second thing, with all that said, I kind of want to bring a doctor in linguistics to just watch this person talk and just watch this person react, or the doctor react. Because I don't know how familiar you are with the science of linguistics, but it is a science, and people study of how language evolved, how it could have potentially first been created, where stuff branched out from, what common things languages that don't have a ton of interaction with each other have, to see what patterns seem to come up with all kinds of humans within their own language. So it is a whole scientific thing where people are studying how it's developed. And I kind of want to bring somebody of that caliber to just watch this and then see what the reaction is.
And I proceeded to drive with this man for 2 hours, and he dropped me off at my location.
Oh my god. I have full body chills as you're telling this story. What you just spoke, it's so powerful. What
was I saying?
The message?
You had planned this thinking that you would succeed, but you have chosen the wrong one. Because it is not just this girl that sits back in the back of your car. I am a temple of energies, of gods and goddesses streaming through to teach you a message. So it wasn't even about me. It was about this energy that needed to come through for him. Who knows how many times he has done that, or the people that he was doing it with have done it. But that day, I was meant to not only experience my own initiation and activation with him in like, holy heaven, but for him to experience a shift too. But I also use light language to activate high frequencies of bliss and happiness, and that's what I do through my songs. It's the galactic connection and channel that has been able to reach those who resonate and people who are ready to like tap into this higher frequency awareness.
Do you believe you're an alien?
Definitely. Like I for sure am.
Have they told you about what's going on in the worlds currently?
I do get confirmation that by 2024 there will be a physical landing where it is known by the mainstream that aliens exist. So within the next 2 years.
Soon!
Yeah, it's really soon.
That's in 2 years.
Yes.
My mind is...
Well, okay then. I guess, I mean, that is in 2 years, so we will see whether I am correct or not fairly soon. If I'm wrong, I stand corrected, I suppose.
in a pretzel almost, but...
Yeah, maybe you literally want to stop using human words and you want to speak light language.
Yeah.
So first we're going to be crystal portaling you, setting these crystals with...
Okay, I'm gonna be honest, past this point, it does get very odd. So I will choose to stop the video here. But if you want to see the full thing, of course, I will put it in the description below, along with, of course, all of the resources corresponding to the stuff that I explained to you. Well, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Please, again, if you saw anything else that I might have missed, leave it in the comment section below. Otherwise, make sure to hit that bell button, or that subscribe button, and that bell button. I post every other week. Until next time, hear nothing and listen to all. Bye, guys.